Hello everybody, my name is Chikirza and welcome to another art journal video, also known as me painting in my sketchbook. Doing things randomly, having no plan at all whatsoever. Today I felt like doing some sort of a random doodle. I don't want to do anything really intricate, I want to keep it really simple, something fun, almost childlike. So using my black Sharpie marker here, I'm just doing random shapes on the page. Do a couple of arrows, a swoop here, a line there. Just being completely random. And let's do a spiral over here. Okay, now time to do some painting. I'm going to try playing with my watercolors again today. These are my PRANG Washable Watercolors, and I'm using a Canson Mixed Media XL sketchbook. First thing I do is mix myself up a shade of a light peach color. I'm using a number 10 round brush here. And I proceed to fill in this lower right-hand corner of the page. I'm going to play with a fair amount of gradients today on this paper. Let's gradiate this into the white of the paper. And now, after I started looking at it, maybe it's because I used the peach color first, I saw a face in the doodle that I did. So let's just go with it and make a face out of this. Some sort of a random abstract face. So I make two eyes. Two totally different shaped eyes, but that's okay. I'm not going for realism here. This is just a fun page. Almost childlike. I think it's okay to just have fun with art. It doesn't always have to be a masterpiece. It doesn't always have to be fancy. It can just be fun. Let's do a couple more spirals here to tie in with the spiral that I already had. And then I was really liking the dark lines, so I went ahead and darkened up some of the rest of these lines. And let's add another line here. Okay, I think that's enough for now. Let's get back to the painting. So to try to balance it out, and I still had a fair amount of that peach color mixed up already, I decided to add some more of the peach to the top left-hand corner. I end up having to step away from the painting a number of times to let the paint dry in between, because I always have problems with paint bleeding into each other. Like right now. I really need to learn how to control the water or just give my paint time to dry before I put a color next to it. But with this watercolor, it's really easy to fix. Just add some more water and scrub at it with a brush a little bit and dab it off with a paper towel. Easy peasy, gone. Now I said I wanted to play with some gradients, so let's add some blue paint to this purple. That's one thing that I do really like about watercolors, is that it's really easy to do gradients. A lot easier to do gradients with watercolor, I find, than doing it with acrylics. And I love that watercolors doesn't take up a whole lot of space on my desk. Let's try doing a yellow and a blue gradient here. Love it! So the next idea I thought was I was going to play with some gradients on the rest of the face, but since I find that doing gradients wet in wet is a lot easier than trying to do two wet on dry next to each other and then try to get them to blend, I decided to use this flat brush and wet down the entire rest of the part of the face with the water. And then start adding my paint so that it would flow out nicely. And let's add some green down at the bottom. Trying to decide where to put the blue there. I think this is a nice safe area, and the blue will blend nicely into the green. So I'm trying not to overthink this, but at the same time, I don't want any of my colors to turn into mud. So I am trying to strategically place my colors in a way that they won't turn into a muddy color, so I can keep my colors nice and bright and vibrant and happy looking, because that was the kind of mood I was in today. So this light green color, or I guess it would be more of a yellow-green color, I thought that would be really nice up in this section. But as the water was sitting on the paint in my palette, it was getting more vibrant when I picked it up with the brush the next time, and I really liked the vibrancy of it, so I decided to darken up that top section as well. And let's wrap this yellow-green color around that spiral a bit and connect the yellow-green all the way around that purple arrow and blend it into that darker green at the bottom of the page. Yep, I definitely like that. I think this blue will look really nice up here, and I don't have a whole lot of blue on my page, but I don't want it to be the same intensity as the blue that I have on the nose type of area, the stuff that's in the middle of the paper. So I made this stuff up here darker and made it gradiate into the peach color. Yeah, I like it. Now that's matching the blue that is in the circle on the right-hand side of the page. And this is one of my favorite colors in this palette. This purple as well as the teal, which I actually only used on that right eyeball for some strange reason. I love using that teal and this purple. Now, using the same color red as I used to get that pink, I'm just using more of the paint to get a deeper shade of the red instead of using more water and having it turn pink, and filling in that one arrow as well as the lips. Then I tried making the bottom lip a little bit lighter by taking some of the pigment off, but there wasn't quite enough of a difference. And I really like that purple, so let's try adding the purple to the bottom lip. But having the bottom lip be darker was just, it was weird, so I didn't like it, so I dabbed it off. And that ended up turning to a pink when I dabbed it off, which is perfect because now I have pink in two parts of my paper. Worked out perfect, almost like I planned it, which I didn't. Okay, now that everything is dry, I want to do some more doodling because I feel like the page is just a little bit plain and I was in a goofy mood. So let's do some fun little characters on here. Do a mouth and an eyebrow and some nostrils on this. Make a really happy smiley character up here. And then I thought that I'd do a smile up on this green section. But what I find with this PRANG Washable Watercolors is that if the paint is heavy enough on the paper to give me lots of pigment, a lot of times the paint will get almost this glistening, like a shiny effect, even when it's dry. And I have problems doodling over top of it, even with a Sharpie marker. So I grabbed my black acrylic paint pen, because even if my Sharpie marker doesn't work, nothing is going to conquer this black acrylic paint pen. I am going to get my way. And I proceeded to do a whole bunch of dots on the top left and the bottom right corner of the page. And now I wanted the teeth on this character to be white. And while I had the white paint pen out, let's do some dots on the circle on the right side of the page. And I didn't feel like I had quite enough doodles at this point, so let's go back to the Sharpie marker and do a little bit more doodling here. Darken that up, fill in this section. And let's add some more white dots on the left. It didn't show up very well, but I felt like just having the white dots on the one side wasn't quite enough. And there we go, a nice, simple, abstract, fun page. And it didn't take very much time at all. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.